Okay, so me again. Let's do some. Um, so I want to do some metal below the paint base so that the metal from underneath shines through. So here, metallic at 1, roughness. Let me see what it looks like. Let's make it a bit more rough. Okay, like this. And then put this underneath because this is the base of the lasagna. So here is metal base. And on this one, we'll add a black mask and, sorry, white mask. Oh, you know what? I'll do the opposite just because I like black masks better. So black mask, and here let's do generator, and here we'll do edge wear, metal edge wear. Okay, so this is a cool effect, but I don't like the, the look. I'll remove the grunge usually, and I'll increase the contrast. Yeah, this is a lot closer to what I have in mind. And now I can remove most of it and just leave just some small chunks. So let's do add paint. So there's a lead I had in some company who told me when you use procedural, you have it affect everything, but then you have to remove 90% of it for it to feel and look like it's like that in the real world. So maybe you use, for example, I don't know, clouds or anything to mask those effects, or so I'll just go around and remove most of the effect here with no real, just playing it by ear. Okay, anyways, just imagine that I removed 90% of it and that it looks great now. I'll just do just one little more here. Okay. Anyways, that gives you the idea. Now what I'll do is I think I'll add just like the reference here, I'll add an additional color on top. So what should I do? Should I really don't like the color story so far. I'm really getting cow out of this, which is not a look. Okay. Anyways, let me fast forward this. I don't want it to take the whole day. Most of it you'll understand anyways. So I'll add some screws over here, which is part of the assignment. So in the brushes, there's screw heads. I think it's over here. Okay, here in the textures. So I'll do a new fill, and this will be just screws. Okay, add black mask. Okay, yeah, I need to go quicker on this one, sorry. So here, this will be just normal. Here, yeah. So let me do something else, I'm sorry. So I just dragged and dropped it here. So it creates, where's this? Oh, it created on top, probably. Yeah. So can I rescale this? Okay, let's say that I'm satisfied with this. I'll do this a duplicate, and I'll just move it over to the other side. Okay, these are there. Now, okay, so I'll group these two. I'll call this screw heads. Okay. What's next? I want to add dirt. So yeah, I'll just fast forward the rest. Here, so you know my method, so I use a concrete on top. I then, oh, I put it in the group again. Okay, now add black mask, add generator, dirt. I'll remove the height. I'll put the roughness to 1. I don't like the texture that it's using, but oh well, you could change that. Make sure that you include, if I want the logo to have some dirt on top or something, just make sure that you include it over here. So if you, for example, go with the logo, micro details, oops, micro details needs to be on, and now you see how this is affecting. So I would, for example, duplicate this. So I'd have one for the overall dirt or dust, and this one would be logo dust. Okay, and in the first one, I'll remove my anchor point. I'll put this to false, and in the second one, I'll just drive everything. So I'll hide this to see what I'm working with. So I want this to be way less intense. So just to show up in the crevices of my logo and the shapes and so on and so forth. So that's not too bad. Let's just re-add the rest. And I feel that this one is too strong, the initial one, so I'll do a filter. I'll add a white noise. I could add also, for example, clouds or, sorry, not filter, but fill. I think I'm getting tired. Add fill, white, and then multiply, and then this one I'll add a warp. I'll increase the tiling of the noise for the warp to get these, sort of wavy effect in the dust. So, oops, I'll remove this effect by a bit. I'll divide it by 100 instead. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. And so this, I'll change the tiling. Yeah, I feel that's a lot manageable, a lot more manageable. Um, and you know what? I think I'll try and, anyways, I should use this hide information from underneath to drive the dirt also, but this I showed in, I think, class 11. So by creating a new layer that replaces the rest and not replaces, but so new paint layer and then go into height and do pass through and then creating an anchor point from here. This would be, for example, height anchor último. Okay, and then through here instead of the other one, micro height. This is height. So you see how it filled in this shape here with the dirt, which is not really what we want. We'll manage that after. Anyways, that gives you options. Just fine tune on your own. What was I gonna say? So yeah, so I wanted to remove the dirt and onto the rust. So I'll just add a fill, and then with the I don't know if I think I made one. Yes, metal rust, and then we'll do invert and no, this and multiply. So no invert. No, it's the opposite. Yeah. So invert and multiply. Yeah, so now there's no dust into the rust. Okay, what's up next? So here, I think I showed this technique in class to sort of use the shape to create this orangey effect around the rust. Um, but yeah, so I'll so here in the rust, I'll also add a generator for the dripping rust, and I'll put this to lighten. But because there's height, I don't like this. So let's just duplicate this and remove the dripping rust. And on the other one, remove everything but the dripping rust. So normal, and then here would be no height. Well, maybe, but just a little bit height at one. Okay, and then we'll change the parameters to have it way less intense. Anyways, you could draw to remove, make sure that you remove along the seams, but you get the idea here. This is way too strong, but again, I'm sure you understand the process. So I think what's next would be, maybe I'll try and start wrapping it up. Just do some quick last minute. I mean, it's far from being done, but you can probably do your own research or creative expression by yourself. But as long as you master those things, it's fine. Let me duplicate this. I think I'll make the top to be a different color. Here, add paint. Oh, I'm going straight to business today. No jokes, just work. I know you guys must be exhausted too, so here, maybe I can click this because it's separate. But then the other one shows through. Um, let's use these. Oh, we'll have to paint manually over here. So let's add. Oh, we already have a paint layer. So let's do brush. Oops. Too many softwares, you get to mix up the shortcuts. There you go. Already I feel it's much better. because it gives you visual interest. So a lot of contrast. The dirt looks great on the dust looks great on onto here. Everything's everything's too strong at the moment. So of course, just fine tune it so that you have everything to be just, very light and well, I mean, to your liking, obviously, or to the reference. Am I painting? What's up? Oh, I'm with the eraser. And yeah, so whenever you see issues like here where it's half the thing is showing up, just make sure that you can correct it with paint. So if I go here, oops, so like this, and then this doesn't make sense around the corner, like that. I think this one's too much. And still like the rust, dripping rust is way too intense. Anyways, so okay, so I would write something over here. So you can, I don't think that I've told you guys, let's do a fill, let's do text, let's do add black mask. Oops. So in project number 2, we went outside of Painter to write our names, to import it in here. But by default in Painter, you can look for its font, I believe, in, oh, here, it was right there. Oh, here? Oh, yeah. So you could, for example, select this one. So I'll add a fill, I think like this, and I'll write, I don't know, correo. And none to repeat. I'll go into the view like this, and I don't know where that thing is. I think it's here. Bam. So you can use the built-in fonts, so you can play around with the fonts and so on and so forth. Um, so this, and then what else is there? So you could make the key thing over there, so with like a gold to make it pop. Um, to what then? So here you could use just clouds, for example, and with levels to create just like those shapes here to make the oh, what was it again before? So if I do, let's say, red initially at the start of the first video, so it was a concrete burnt. I don't know if I like it anymore. It looked like, because it was the levels that was on top. Let's just recreate this. That's nice. So we could have like different spot of paint that's from a different coloration that's underneath, for example, or so this could be like green and you remove some of it with a cloud or whatever. Add fill, let's do clouds. And then multiply, so this needs to be triplanar. Multiply, and then increase the contrast to remove most of it, so that you have just these small spots. So I'm going quicker now, but of course, just make sure that it looks good in the end and it looks faithful to your reference. One other thing I think that's missing, and do I don't know if I'll add more than that, is you can sorry, so you can add Rust, for example, manually. So let's do discoloration, Rust. Oops, let me just click this. Okay, and I want this to be very orange, and I want this to not have height. Okay, and then add black mask. So here, what's so there's water or something. Um, leaks. Okay, so these are the brushes I showed in class, which are the particle brushes. That's not what I'm looking for. That's these ones. So I could, for example, had so by clicking on it, it changes your alpha that you're painting with. So I could, for example, just this is not a good. This is more paint than. Okay, let's say I like this. I can then go in with paint and remove most of it. So like this. Oops. And um, I could change the blending mode to have it feel different. So if you click the blending mode, so it becomes blue, and then you can press the arrows down to go through the blending modes. This is something interesting. You see how it just changes. So I could do like this, linear dodge, and then I could add an anchor point to this and then add the color on top so that the discoloration is happening underneath. So if I do a little blur, you see how, the rust would do this. Here, let me just add anchor point. Streaks. And then Control D to duplicate. Let's just duplicate like this. And then add fill, anchor point, streaks. This is going to be a different blending mode. That's not too bad, but it's too fluorescent. If I lower the saturation here, it's probably going to be better. Like this. I like to work better with images so that afterwards you can move them around, you can play. Now my paint is just stuck there, so I have to repaint and remask afterwards. So, but you see, it creates a cool effect. Oh, here's too strong. You see where I'm going with this. Just fine tune it to your liking, but well, yeah. So by adding, like this is just Picasso right here. It's just too much of many things. But yeah, just have fun. And I wanted to do a sticker. Um, Let me just save and open another project. So I'll open the hammer that I finished. This file. Okay, just your projects. I didn't add color variation, so that would be a great addition initially too. So you see how I mentioned it in the lasagna method where there's color variation in everything mostly. So this is interesting. So this is a must, especially for that kind of acid where the color is just the same all over. What did I want to share? Marteau and final. So here for these little guys, um, so what I did, so if I go look, what I did is I created a mask. So in Photoshop, I did a selection around, so I selected the white background. Let me show you. So oops, let's do this guy, it'll be quicker. So open with Photoshop. And then, so we'll do select color range. And then I'll select the purple in the back. You know what? There's this option or there's the magic wand tool that you can use too. I think in this situation, because there's purple on his, I don't know, on these or whatever. Okay, let's say this is the perfect selection. So I'll delete. No, double click here to unlock it before, because otherwise it fills the information. So here, by doing so, I have uh, deleted the rest. Of course, you can play around with the select the mask selection, so to make it more smooth. And I wanted to shift inside. So let's do, I don't know, 2%. Oops, -2. Okay. Oops. It's the opposite. It's minus. It's +2. So let's do 4%. Okay. More. Anyways, fine tune, find what works with your image, but over here it's pretty good. So now that the selection is done, I'll just delete this and then Control D. So what I did is when I exported my images, I just double click this, the square, and then I did outer glow. And then I put this, you see, it kept my preset from last time. So normal opacity 100, so you want to fill to 100, and this is just white color. So it gives you the outline. Oh, even if my selection wasn't perfect, there's not much to correct except here. The rest is pretty good. uh, Over here maybe just a little bit, but yeah. So then from having this outline, I then did Control Alt Shift E to collapse. Let me, oh, I think because there's nothing else to collapse with, it won't work. What can I do then? So okay, it works now because I created a new layer. So now if I, since the back is deleted, so it's just a checkerboard. If I control and left click on this uh, on the square here, it creates a selection from the pixel information from this. So what I did is I then created a new layer. I filled in this information with white, and then Control Shift I to invert the selection, and Control Backspace to use the black to fill with the black. So that gives me exactly the mask that I need. So from there, from having this mask here, so I have my outline, I have the character, and then what I did is I used textures that I had, textures that I have. Um, I have freebies, so whenever I find myself good references, so FR, okay, here. So I save those onto a folder so that I can reuse those. So what I did is I used these stickers that I found on textures.com at the time, and I created myself a mask to, so that you see how the white information goes through at some places and some not. So I used this in Photoshop in order to give me a black and white mask. So if I go to, so this is in the middle part. Um, Sticker. So I just, so okay. So I added some fake ambient occlusion around the edges. So to just create this little bit of contrast in between, so now it's loading, to create this little bit of contrast between the image and the background color. So this is a cool effect. And then, so the sticker itself, yeah, so I wanted to show you the mask, which is basically, can I see just the picture? So here, textures.com posters, but I created a mask. I don't know if I can find it. So mask. Okay, here. So let me do a new layer. Let's do pink, because why not? And here, black mask and fill. So from adding this, you already have sort of a sticker feel to, hello, okay. So I use this as a mask on Felix and Ralph in order to mask the sticker. So I use this. So I placed it diagonally to so that it removes his boots. So of course, feel free to, you see how the transparency of the black and white from the stickers, again, it shows through. So this is a great way to have exactly what you want. So in terms of feels, you see how it lets what's underneath shine through. So this is great because it gives you this effect of a poster that's been ripped or um, whatever. So you could use this and then use this as height, for example, or if you look at the example from here, there's one with a poster. This one, so oops, to remove the edges, for example, or just recreate some kind of cool effect here. All right. So, anyways, I think you have enough now. It's been, almost 2 hours of just me painting. Painting takes time, but it's the most fun part. So I wanted to go through the trouble of adding those, but of course, like this, I'll do on my own time if I do this. But yeah, I want you to have fun and be creative with this. And don't forget your references and name your files correctly. All right. So I hope that you have fun, even though you have like a gazillion projects to to not render but to finish for Monday. So good luck with that, and yeah, I can't wait to see the result of your progress. All right, take care. Bye.